So basically you are loving a dog but you're still eating a chicken. But you also have to see that in cow's milk there are a lot of hormones that is injected into the cow. जो भी ये reason देते हैं कि plant को उजाड़ के खा रहे हो, तो वो उजाड़ के हम नहीं खा रहे. 70% of the animals are eaten. I used to have boiled chicken every day.
What will be her reaction?
You don't have to abuse an animal and keep, playing this role of God.
Tamasic is aggressive food.
I do believe that milk should not be sattvic. If everyone saw what happens in the leather industry, everyone would buy vegan leather. So my mother was diagnosed with diabetes. So easy. There are a lot of cafes that does vegan cake. Plants don't feel pain because they don't have a central nervous system. They had compared the effects of cheese with cocaine.
How do you manage those values?
Anything can be replicated. Like you can make a vegan version of that. We go to a lot of dinners together. I'm the only vegan in the entire family. I don't see it as a milk, I see it as a blood. I don't agree to the fact that milk or dairy is vegetarian. People who are vegan for the animals. Soya can be converted into tofu. Obviously everyone knows कि वो meat कैसे बना है.
सो हाय, वेलकम टू अनदर एपिसोड. आई एम सागर और अगेन आज का शो हमारा बहुत स्पेशल होने वाला है बिकॉज आज हमारे साथ हैं आरोही से हम बात करेंगे बहुत सारी चीज़ें. मतलब मुझे पर्सनली बहुत, आप कह सकते हो कि एक इंटरेस्ट है इस टॉपिक में, एंड विच इज़ वीगनिज्म. अब बहुत सारे लोगों को लगता है कि यार वीगनिज्म ना पॉसिबल नहीं है, मतलब बस ना एक हाइप है या फिर बस एक ट्रेंड है. बट आपको जानकारी के लिए बता दें, 1944 से ये टर्म दुनिया में चली आ रही है और देयर इज़ अ सेपरेट कम्युनिटी फॉर दैट. Why Aarohi is really special? Because she used to live in Dubai. प्योर नॉनवेज वहाँ पे खाती थी. उसके बाद समथिंग हिट हर, कुछ हुआ लाइफ में चेंज. नाउ शी इज़ अ वीगन एंड नॉट जस्ट अ वीगन, शी इज़ ऑल्सो रनिंग अ स्टार्टअप. शी ऑपरेट्स हर कंपनी बाय द नेम डांसिंग काउ. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk how it works. We're gonna talk what's the difference between vegan, vegetarian and non-vegetarian. साथ साथ ये भी बताना चाहेंगे कि वीगनिज्म का मतलब ये बिल्कुल नहीं होता है कि आप एकदम हेल्दी हो गए हो. सो इट्स ऑल अबाउट दैट यू आर टेकिंग स्टैंड दैट एनिमल्स को हार्म नहीं पहुंचाया जाएगा. सो विल स्टार्ट द शो ऑन दिस नोट. विल वेलकम Aarohi. So hi Aarohi, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Sagar, for inviting me here and letting me share my perspective on veganism. I'm so excited to be here and discuss more on veganism.
Perfect. And I'm very excited. So the core fundamental of veganism is we're going to choose peace and love over cruelty.
Exactly.
That's the core philosophy.
Yes. So you're not exploiting animals for their use and their byproducts. Is basically the entire philosophy of veganism.
If I start my podcast, so I would like to ask this very basic question, like what triggered you from being a pure non-vegetarian where you have everything, like all the nutritional values, all the delicious food in this world out there, from there to vegan? Why?
So this started right before COVID, or actually during COVID when there was a lockdown in Dubai and I was, trapped in studio with my roommate. So basically I saw a documentary. It was called Game Changers. It's there on Netflix. So in that documentary it showed like how the animal products like meat and dairy are not necessary for humans, like for human growth and human, like how we have always been told that meat and dairy are essential to our, in our ecosystem, how they're, we have to rely on them. But honestly, when I saw that documentary, how they had presented their, research and, they did their testing on humans, like they tested on humans on plant-based diet and on animal diet, and how plant-based diet people who were on plant-based diet were way better than the ones on meat diet. So I saw that documentary and I started thinking out loud, like, what if I've been living in a lie? Like, what if the meat I was consuming is actually not beneficial for my own body? And by that time, I already knew I was lactose intolerant, but I never took any steps because I was honestly too lazy. And during COVID, I tried experimenting. I went completely vegan in 2019 end or 2020, beginning of 2020. And by the way, I used to be a very heavy meat consumer. I used to have boiled chicken every day. I used to have eggs every day, boiled chicken, occasionally fishes, and I think once or twice I've also consumed beef. I used to have a lot of milk and dairy products. And from that to then going vegan cold turkey was actually very difficult in the beginning. And I only did that for my body. So once I started Googling a lot about, what vegans can eat, what all options are there for vitamins, for omegas and all of that. I got targeted by algorithm, like how Instagram algorithm works, how internet basically functions. If you Google about something and then you get a lot of content around that subject. So I started seeing a lot of cruelty, like what happens behind the bars, what happens to chickens, what happens to cows in the dairy industry, which I never knew. Like I knew in the back of my mind, but when you see only those kind of content, you become more and more aware, and then you find more reasons to stick to that lifestyle. So health was one of the reasons, but once I started educating myself about more ethical standpoint, veganism for me became a permanent lifestyle choice and not just an experiment during the COVID. So when I learned about dairy cruelty, honestly, that shook me like anything, because I never knew that a cow in a dairy industry is subjected to so much of cruelty. For me, I thought cows always give milk, irrespective of them having a baby or not. I mean, I think a lot of people have that viewpoint. Like they think that cows give milk all their lives. No, it's not. They only give milk once they have a child. And in order to produce that child, they have to, go through a artificial insemination, then 9 months of pregnancy. And then once they give the birth, either the child gets taken away from them, or, it's... if it's a female, she goes on she has the same cycle as her mother of that cruelty and abuse. So once I learned about the abuse in the dairy industry, for me, that was more shocking than meat, because meat, in the back of the mind, everybody knows that it's cruelty. Animals are killed. So in Dubai, we have a lot of options, in mock meats and plant-based, healthy plant-based options, in plant-based dairy, plant-based cheese, plant-based butter, everything. But when I moved back to India, there was a lot of white space in this category, especially in plant-based milk back then. So I wanted to do something. I was already running a company in Dubai for 2-3 years.
Okay.
And that was actually the side project. I was working full time. I was also running my own company, which we later sold it off to a VC. And when I came back to India, I wanted to do something in, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. That was very clear. I didn't want to work for anyone or any corporate. So जब मैं वापस इंडिया आई, मैंने देखा वाइट स्पेस है, तो मुझे लगा कि इसमें घुसना पड़ेगा. We have to do more research. We have to come up with a healthy vegan alternatives. And the market in India is not, back then it was not very well organized, but now I can see a lot of people are, committing to this vegan lifestyle, and a lot of people are, they're not, I wouldn't say they are going fully vegan, but there are a lot of people who are experimenting, they're becoming flexitarians, pescatarians. Whatever reduces meat and dairy consumption, I would say, in the direction of going ethical is good enough.
So amazing. So basically you started because of your body, and then you realized there are so many things that are going behind the picture, behind the scenes, and it hurts you. So I watched a movie. It was an animated film on YouTube. I don't know the name exactly. So the story of that movie was कि एक farmer एक गाय को लेके आता है, and that cow gets attached to that farmer, and she starts giving her milk that is supposed to be for her children to that farmer. He starts selling the milk.
Okay.
And then one day when the cow stops giving the milk, stop producing the milk when her body is not supporting her, so he sells the cow to a butcher,
Right.
and that cow becomes food for someone. It was so emotional. I literally cried after watching that movie. So that was a story. So yeah, that is so true, and I'm so glad that we are sitting here talking about it, and
Exactly.
you are sitting on this chair. So yeah, we can feel that thing. We can talk about this thing. So yeah, thank you for doing this once again.
I have so much to talk about. I mean, this is literally the surface level of cruelty that we just spoke in the last 5 minutes, but there's so much.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. But yeah, the story, the thoughts you just shared, it just made me so emotional.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just thanking you for taking a stand and to do this. Anyways, so if this Aarohi is going to talk to that Aarohi who eats non-veg, and अगर ये जाके उसको बोलती है कि vegan हो जा, so will she laugh or will she get offended? What will be her reaction?
It depends. So, right before I became a vegan, there was this. So, every human goes through a journey, right? Like, so when I was about to become a vegan, I started feeling emotional about animals in general. Like, even my husband, he keeps bringing this point. He used to he used to talk about how people in general, they have dogs at home and they're still consuming another species. Like how this is, I wouldn't say anything else. I would just say that there's this thing called cognitive dissonance, and they're living in that. And I was always living in a cognitive dissonance. Like, you're living a life which is filled with loopholes. Like, you believe in an ideology, but at the same time, you're not questioning something that you're doing. So basically, you are loving a dog, but you're still eating chicken, but you're not thinking about the chicken. So that was me. I never used to think what goes into my food. But when I got time, I started thinking about everything in general. I had a meltdown, I wouldn't lie. Like, during COVID, I was going through this phase where I was questioning my life decisions, as in I was questioning what am I doing with my life. Like, I had an existential crisis back then, and should I continue doing this job or should I just go being a full-time entrepreneur? What am I eating? Why am I eating this? So you get a lot of time thinking about things. And a year before I went vegan, I used to mock vegans, and I'm telling you here that I hate, like, right now, if I have to confront that Aarohi, she would never understand me. Like, she would think that I'm just blabbering things. Can I say blabbering shit?
You can talk about anything. Like you
Okay.
can use any word, be free.
Okay. So, yeah, she would say I'm blabbering, whatever. She would not believe me. I had a acquaintance back then in Dubai who was a vegan, and I kind of made friend of that person with my friends. And I was like, once I started researching more on veganism and about my personal lifestyle choices, then I was like, why am I mocking that person who's actually, he's a hero for the animals, right? And abusing animals was kind of cool back then, but then I was like, you have to be in a certain way to be accepted in the society. Like, if you become different, then people look at you differently and they mock at you, they make fun of you. So I think a lot of people who want to be vegan and cannot be vegan, one of the reasons for that is because they don't want to displease their friends. They don't want to be a odd sheep. They want to just go with the flow and be a part of something, be a part of, I'm just saying that people are scared to be different in today's society because they fear that people will mock them. And this was me back then. And if I were to speak to that person, I can't. It would be impossible. So I'm telling you, it all happened in a very short span of time. I became from extreme non-vegan, from a person who used to eat chicken every day to the person who became vegan overnight. It happened in a very short span of time and cold turkey.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, because now you are vegan, so we can talk about it like more freely. So I often talk about this thing. First thing, I don't have any problem with anyone. Like you are a vegan, vegetarian, non-vegetarian. That's your personal choice. But there used to be an actor, a legend of our industry, Irfan sir, Mr. Irfan Khan.
Right.
So I still admire him a lot because he will always remain in our hearts forever. So I was watching one of his interviews. In that interview, he simply raised this point that मैं अगर भगवान को अल्लाह को खुश करना चाहता हूँ, why do I have to kill an animal? And second important thing, he was a vegetarian. So he said कि मैं अगर खाना खा रहा हूँ, मेरे खाने की प्लेट में ब्लड क्या कर रहा है? Like that food is coming out of blood ना?
Yeah.
तो वो कर क्या रहा है? But whenever I talk about this thing to a non-vegetarian friend of mine, obviously in a casual way, so they are not willing to give answer to this question and they are okay with it. They are not even accepting it. Like what are the problems they have? Like as you said that one thing is कि हम लोग सोसाइटी में फिट इन होना चाहते हैं और हम क्राउड से अलग नहीं जा सकते.
Exactly.
इट इज सिमिलर टू दिस कि मेरे घर के पास के कुछ दोस्त पार्टी कर रहे हैं, 10 लोग हैं, सब लोग ड्रिंक कर रहे हैं, तो मेरे को ड्रिंक करनी पड़ेगी. क्यों पता नहीं, बस मेरे दोस्त कर रहे हैं और आई डोंट वांट टू फील लेफ्ट आउट.
Left out.
So I can't take stand for myself.
Right.
So you are coming from non-vegetarian to a vegan. What do you think? What's the worst part? Like, are they enjoying that food really, or they are just living in an illusion, or are they afraid of taking a stand to be different from their friends and family?
See, I have just one opinion on this. Like, non-vegetarian food is tasty. We all used to consume it. Like the vegans who became vegans once used to consume dairy and chicken. I, for one, used to love chicken. But the problem arises when you don't feel connected with the why of you are a vegan. So my non-vegan friends, they know the cruelty is happening. They know the cow is going through the abuse. They're okay with it. They don't connect with the cause as much as vegans would. There are a lot of people who are empaths, right? They feel the emotions of an animal. They feel the emotions of other humans. Or there are animal empaths who feel emotions of animals more than they feel the emotions of a human. So for me, I think I was always an empath. I could feel emotional disturbances that an animal is going through. But then once you feel, you don't go back, right? Once you like just see what is happening out there, you never go back. There are a lot of people. So my own family, my parents, they're not vegans. They are vegetarians, but I showed them everything. I showed them Indian documentaries on what happens behind the scene in dairy industry. They saw it. They know it. They know the cruelty is happening. It's just that they don't care enough. You know, there are some people who just care enough. And I don't know why that happens, that there are some humans that are more caring and they understand the emotions of an animal and some don't. So people who are not vegans are because probably they like the taste of their food, and that's more important to them than a life of an animal. Is as simple as I can think of. There's literally no other reason. I don't think there is any other reason कि वो एक अपने taste के लिए खा रहे हैं, and obviously everyone knows कि वो meat कैसे बना है. It's meat because of it's meat because of a animal, right? You killed an animal and it's become your food, but they don't care enough.
Especially if I talk about Indian food, so we have a thali that is full of everything.
Yeah.
Fats, carbohydrate, proteins.
Right.
Especially this season, winter season.
The vegetarian thali or?
A vegetarian thali.
Okay.
Gajar ka halwa. There are so many things. Like, how do you manage that thing, or how do you cope up with all those cravings? Or not just in your case. I mean, if there is someone who is listening to you right now,
yeah,
and he is willing to be a vegan, but he's not willing to compromise on this gajar ka halwa, gunjia part, like the traditional Indian things. Like, what do you say to them?
Okay, so here you can replicate vegan gajar ka halwa. You can make vegan, literally anything that is dairy based. You can instead of milk, you can add oat milk, okay, from Dancing Cow.
Okay, Dancing Cow is the company of Aarohi. She's the founder of Dancing Cow. You can add her oat milk.
Also, I mean, if you're trying to, anything can be replicated. Like you can make a vegan version of that. The vegan, if you don't want to add artificial vegan butters or vegan mock meats, there's soya chunks. There's, I mean, if you're craving for butter chicken, there is soya or seitan. You can, you can replace meat with seitan. You can replace meat with tempeh, tofu. You can replace ghee with vegan ghee, or even oil is better. I personally feel that oil is safer than vegan ghee. You can add plant-based milk, plant-based, cream. There are a lot of different vegan versions of dairy counterparts.
Basically, we do have option.
A lot, yeah. There are so many vegan cafes in Delhi. Like you get a lot of vegan versions of the normal dairy dishes.
So amazing. So when you go to the parties, especially in your family gatherings, like how do you see yourself? Is this something awkward for you? Is this something you feel like everyone is judging me? Especially from coming from a non-vegetarian to vegan. Like how do you manage those parties?
Initially, I used to feel a bit different and left out. And I mean, when the conversation was around food, I would be like, mum, because I mean, if one person is discussing about, let's order butter chicken, nahi, butter chicken nahi khana, ye khate hain. And I was like, okay, I'll quietly order my vegan stuff. Or in the parties also, like, now I'm used to it. I mean, we go to a lot of dinners together. I'm the only vegan in the entire family. And they're more supportive. Like the family, I mean, I'm so lucky to have them. They're very supportive. And when I go to Africa to meet my parents live in Africa now. So when I go to meet them, my mom knows that I get triggered when I see, dairy kept in the fridge. So she'll make sure there's no dairy, there's no, they only consume dairy. So there's no dairy, and they'll replace the dairy with, the oat milk and soy milk. There's a lot of options there. So they're very sensitive. They know that I'm sensitive around, these things. So they'll make sure that I don't see it. So yeah, it's actually easier now because I feel a lot of vegans don't have a supportive family. It's difficult for them. And I would say, I mean, you have to, accept this and make this into a better, make this into an opportunity to educate people who are not. Like if your family is not supportive of your lifestyle choices, I would say just sit down with them and explain what, these things do to your mind. Like when you see milk, for example, personally, when I see a dairy, when I see milk in my fridge, it kind of triggers me to the core. I don't see it as a milk. I see it as a blood. I see that this milk is responsible for a small baby going into slaughter, or a cow that is done with her, the cycle of being pregnant and birth. She's now into, she's dead. So I don't see it as a vegetarian product. It should not be. It's actually a non-vegetarian product. I don't agree to the fact that milk or dairy is vegetarian. It is not. It's the most cruel thing. Like you are abusing the animal for 6-7 years of their lives. In meat industry, chickens are like killed in few months of them being born. But in dairy industry, it's just a cycle of abuse. That 7 years of their lives, they're just being made pregnant, and like the child is born. Just imagine a mother, like 9 months of her life she spent in gestation, and then the child is born, and if it's a male, she doesn't get to see it after a couple of days. And some of the dairy farmers, what they do is they recreate the body of a dead animal, a dead child, so that when mother smells the child, she keeps giving the milk. I mean, that is so disheartening. And that's what I see when I see a pack of milk kept in the fridge. And I know a lot of vegans go through this, living in joint families and living with partners who are not vegan. I mean, there are different levels of vegans. They might feel that, they might not, but there are a lot of people who do this, who feel this, and I would say just have patience, just keep educating them, just keep having a heart to heart conversation with them, that what it makes you feel, and probably one day they'll try to change.
Interesting. So is veganism a privilege or just a perspective shift?
It's not a privilege. It's being kind to animal is not a privilege. Like, I feel that in our society right now, in 2026 now, being vegan is very easy. Like, veganism has been associated with fancy vegan products and fancy vegan bags, fancy vegan clothing. It's not. It's going back to the roots and eating what we were always eating, minus the cruelty. So, like, what is dal chawal is never, dal chawal is vegan, right? It's not a privilege to eat dal chawal. It's actually, it's us, it's going back to basics. Rajma rice, dal chawal, whatever we have been eating is vegan.
So can we connect this thing to Ayurveda? Like, I heard this term called tamasic khana and sattvic khana.
Okay.
Tamasic is aggressive foods, like from chicken to caffeine to, in fact, pyaz and garlic. All these things comes under this umbrella of tamasic, and this is sattvic food.
The one that brings heat in your body is, see, I honestly, I'm not the right person to comment on that. I have a very surface level knowledge about tamasic and sattvic, but I do believe that milk should not be sattvic, for the only reason that it comes from cruelty. And I mean, I feel apart from milk, everything else is sattvic. I mean, again, I don't want to comment on that because I have
No issue. That's completely okay, because that is again not even your forte. But yeah, if I ask you about your personal transformation, like when you used to be a non-vegetarian, now you are being a vegan. So please tell us about it कि क्या change हुआ है, body में क्या changes आए हैं, thoughts में क्या changes आए हैं, how do you feel your energy levels, your vitals, everything?
Okay, in terms of the changes, I would say pre-vegan, like when I was a non-vegan, I was not a very fit person. Like, I was always into fitness. I used to run every day, used to lift more than my own weight. So one of the reasons why initially I mentioned, one of the reasons why I became a vegan was because I wanted to experiment for my own health. So I mean, I saw a lot of energy shift happening inside me. It didn't happen automatically in a day or two. It happened within weeks of following the vegan lifestyle. I felt I could go on and on. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but in the gym, when you are working out, right, you are running or you're doing cardio exercises. Before I was a vegan, I used to get tired very easily. But now, I mean, after being a vegan, I could notice those energy shifts inside me. I could run more. I could lift more. But I was also eating enough protein for that. So yes, energy wise, I totally saw like a big jump. In terms of mental clarity also, there was a very big jump. My thoughts were very well organized, if it makes sense. Like, I was like, this part of my brain is now functioning. Like, everything looks very clear now. Every person, individual is different. So it happened to me. I'm not sure if the same thing will happen to another person. But also, I was being very healthy. So if I was eating 100 grams of protein earlier through non-vegan dishes, I was now supplementing that protein with vegan sources of protein. So I didn't just became vegan for the sake of it. I was also vegan from, since I was vegan from a health standpoint, I was also making sure that I'm having enough omega-3, I'm having enough vitamin B12, vitamin D, and enough protein basically. So yeah, I mean, keeping every nutrient side by side, non-vegan and vegan, I was able to function in a better way, energy-wise and brain-wise also.
So basically, you felt those improvements in your body and your thoughts. So amazing, so amazing. So आरोही, अगर मैं 2 मिनट के लिए क्रुएल्टी वाला फैक्टर हटाऊं यहाँ से, veganism and non-vegetarian में से, what do you think, what are the changes that are going to happen to this world if this whole world turns into a vegan?
If that happens, which is a very hypothetical situation, it won't happen in a day. It will take years for that to happen. Can I answer when it takes years for it to happen?
Please feel free. So I'm just trying to understand this thing. If this happens, then what?
If everybody became vegan, then there will not be any artificial insemination. No forceful cows will be born into this world to meet the demand of the dairy consumption. There will be lesser cows. There will be lesser abuse, cruelty, of course. There'll be lesser chickens. There'll be lesser domesticated animals in the world. And I think that will be a very peaceful ecosystem. Of course, there are some supplements that are only found in meat, which is vitamin B12. So for that, and animals don't produce vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is actually from a bacterial source. So animals eat those bacteria, and then they get those bacteria, into their system, and that's how humans consume it. And yeah, apart from vitamin B12, I believe every other source can be obtained from the plants itself through different sources of plant kingdoms. So I think if everybody became vegan, we'll have a very peaceful society. Secondly, we'll so much of environmental GHG that gets emitted into the ecosystem will get reduced. I would not quote any statistics because I'm not sure. X amount of GHG emission will come down, and the amount of crops that we are producing to feed these animals is so basically 70% of the crops that are produced in the world are to feed these animals.
Okay.
So those lands will again be forested, and we won't be needing those lands for crop generation. So basically we'll all move towards a greener ecosystem. Yeah.
So amazing. अगर हम यहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं and we are talking about this कि unnecessarily cows को and बाकी जो animals हैं उनके ऊपर cruelty होती है because एक तरीके से उनको मशीन के तौर पे कंसीडर किया जाता है, प्रोड्यूस मोर मिल्क, गिव अस मोर एग्स एंड सो ऑन. ठीक है, वो प्रोसेस है. बट डोंट यू थिंक अगर हम वीगनिज्म को पूरा ऑप्ट कर लेंगे एंड दिस होल वर्ल्ड गोज वीगन, डोंट यू थिंक कि सेम ग्रीड वहाँ पर होगी तो सेम आइडियोलॉजी को वहाँ पर भी फॉलो किया जाएगा कि प्लांट्स को भी कोशिश की जाएगी कि कितना जल्दी हम यहाँ से फ्रूट निकाल सकते हैं या कौन सी चीज़ सबसे ज़्यादा डिमांड में है तो उसको हम मैक्सिमाइज करेंगे. डोंट यू थिंक कि वो वीगनिज्म में भी चीज़ें फिर डिफर करेंगी?
आई डोंट थिंक सो बिकॉज लाइक आई मेंशन 70% जो अभी जितना एग्रीकल्चरल क्रॉप्स ग्रो कर रहे हैं टू फीड ह्यूमंस एंड एनिमल्स. फॉर एग्जांपल सोय हम प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, सोय का जो लैंड हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं 70% तो एनिमल फीड में जा रहा है. नाउ इमेजिन दैट एनिमल्स don't exist in this ecosystem, domesticated animals. It's just the humans that we have to feed. Don't you think it will be more easier to now feed them and also, reforest those areas? If 70% of the crop was going to the animals, 60-70%, अब वो मतलब 70% की जगह पूरा human consumption में जा रहा है. So I think it will be better for the human race. No.
I think so, but again we have to consider the animals.
A lot of hypothetical questions.
Yeah, a lot of hypothetical things, but this term in itself is to me very complex. Like veganism, I'm still trying to understand like all the verticals of this thing. Okay, let's take it step by step. What role does denial play in choosing our thali or our food?
Deny.
Denial. Yeah. People deny. They know this is wrong, but again, we are in denial mode. So, do you think that are they well aware of this thing? Like being a non vegetarian Aarohi, for example, if non vegetarian Aarohi is choosing her thali, is she choosing in her denial mode or she's well aware of the fact, okay, कि killing हुई है यहाँ पे and so on, that was the process, but still I'm choosing it. What's
Yeah.
the thought behind it?
Again, this is denial. 100% denial. Like you don't even want to go there. You just want to focus on the food and focus on the nutrition aspect of it and just eat it. You are forcefully not thinking about your food or what goes behind the food. And I think most of the people that we see, they don't want to think about there. They don't want to go there because why would they? Like, I'm just quoting my example, like you mentioned, the non-vegan Aarohi. I never used to think about the food except for if it is giving me enough protein or enough carbohydrates. But honestly, if you think about it, you might still consume it. There are a lot of people who know the cruelty and the meat has the lot of, I would say, they are aware about the killing. They know that it is not right for them, and they still consume it out of guilt, probably. But they still consume it. There's a very in terms of nutrition, there's a narrative that is going around that meat is important for humans. Like if you don't eat meat, you won't sustain yourself. Your brain won't function because omega-3 apparently they say that is only found in meat, and a lot of different supplements, and a lot of narrative also happens around it's a food cycle. Yeah, and lions eat meat, and humans have to eat meat because we are like lions. No, we are not. We don't live in jungles. We don't have to eat our child if we are hungry. So there are a lot of things that happens in the animal kingdom, and it doesn't happen. So a lot of narratives are around why you should be eating meat, and a lot of propaganda also. But the truth is, if you choose to believe those narratives, then do a proper research around them. Like if you choose to believe you're a lion and you're eating meat because you're a lion, you should question, what am I, like, is this a right ideology I'm following? Is this the right way of thinking? And if you think that a lot of people who eat meat, they say that if they don't eat meat, then there will be chickens all around the earth, which is so weird because to them, I would say that no, you won't, because there won't be forceful chickens being brought into this earth, firstly. And in a few years' time, if everybody becomes vegan, those chickens will get extinct, and that is okay. I mean, you don't have to abuse an animal and keep, playing this role of God, that because of you there is a species that is living around. No, it's totally useless. If you're there, if you're abusing the animal in a way, then let that species just go extinct. It's okay.
I mean, being an individual, I'm okay with all the choices that you have. Like you want to eat vegan, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, that's completely your choice. But please, for God's sake, don't give me those WhatsApp forwarded logics. Like lions eat this and all that. Then
Ridiculous.
why don't you copy everything that lion are doing?
Exactly.
Tiger is doing what lion is doing.
Yeah.
So don't walk on your legs now. Just bring your hands like this. Okay, be naked. Go into the jungle. Stop living in the houses. So remove this cognitive thinking now. Why?
Plus, they eat their meat raw. They are hunters. The female lions, actually lionesses, sorry, they are hunters. They have like carnivore teeth, basically, that tears the flesh apart.
Yeah.
Humans don't. These are plant-eating carnivores. These are not like flesh-eating carnivore teeth. Sorry, carnivore. No. What are these teeth called? I just forgot.
Carnivore, omnivore, carnivore.
No, the teeth. Canine. Sorry, canine.
Okay,
Canine. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people, they want to believe, they don't want to change themselves, and they find reasons for not changing themselves. They hide behind the lion thing, the lion psychology. They think that they are the gods. They're saving the lives of millions of chickens by being meat eaters, but it's just them hiding behind these reasons.
Okay, if I remove the taste from non-veg,
Yeah.
what do you think people will still consume it?
No, no. And by the way, like the flesh itself doesn't have a taste. It's the gravy that gives it a taste, or the way you make it, right? Like chicken, butter chicken becomes butter chicken because it's. I mean, it's filled with all those, the gravy, the different vegetables and stuff. I'm not a cook. I don't know what goes into that. But yeah, so so I used to eat boiled chicken because of health. I'm not sure a lot of people eat boiled chicken, can eat boiled chicken every day. They just want to eat it for their health and to supplement their protein intake, which can easily be done in a from vegan protein, and they can easily replicate the same lifestyle that they currently have with a vegan, in a vegan way.
Let's go a little deep. So when we are talking about the proteins, so if I talk about the non-veg protein or the milk-based protein, whey protein, which is, so we do get a lot of essential amino acids that our body needs and that our body is not producing.
Right.
Okay. So what do you think? Can a vegan-based protein or a plant-based protein is going to fulfill that part? क्या वो amino acid वो protein से मिलेंगे हमें?
See, it is possible, but you have to be a little mindful. So there are a lot of different vegan protein sources. Just relying on one protein source won't fulfill all your amino acids. There's edamame that has all the 9 essential amino acids. But if if you don't have access to edamame, there are a lot of different vegan protein sources. Like for example, if you're eating dal, you just won't eat dal. And dal is not a complete protein source. It's actually a carbohydrate source. So if you're eating, for example, tofu, and if you're just eating tofu, of course, your all 9 essential amino acids, it's not covered inside tofu, but you also eat different. If you have tofu bhurji and if you have dal, then that's a complete, or a brown rice along with that. That's a complete, protein profile. I agree. Like in meat, you have every 9 essential or complete protein source. But honestly, that also has a lot of downsides. Like there are a lot of heart issues that happen with consumption of meat, and especially red meat. I mean, it's carcinogenic. If you follow the WHO guidelines, it's actually a primary cause of cancer in humans if you are eating like red meat and a lot of. So basically, you have to be very mindful when you're eating plant-based protein. Like you just can't eat one type of protein, and that won't fulfill all the protein. And it's just not a lot of. I wouldn't say it requires a lot of efforts. It's very easy once you become vegan. And me, for example, I've been vegan for 6 years now. Like for me, I know, like lunch में मुझे एक salad मैं खाती हूँ पिछले 3 साल से हो गया है. I eat the same bowl of salad. So salad नहीं, warm bowl I would call it. उसमें edamame होता है, tofu होता है, tempeh होता है, fibers होते हैं, broccoli होती है. Basically, that one bowl is like giving me all the vitamins I need, all the omegas I need, all the protein I need. Not for the day, but at least, for that meal. And it's once you learn thoda sa, it becomes very easy to follow that daily lifestyle.
So amazing. Okay. So we are talking about protein. We are talking about the versatility, the diversity of food, all the amino acids that you need, that you require. There are a lot of people who are willing to quit non-veg or leave the non-veg behind, but they are stuck somewhere. Like I never tasted non-veg. Okay. But if I talk to non-vegetarians, they always have the same answer. Like I always ask this question, what's the taste of non-veg like? They always like, there's no taste. There's a texture of it. There's more about the texture and all that. Like, if it is replaceable, if that is something that is causing a lot of cruelty in the animals, if that is something that is even making you ill, as you said, red meat is causing cancer to your body, why is still it is so difficult and so addictive that people can't control it? Like, what do you see? What's the problem?
So just today I was listening to one podcast, like why some people find it very difficult to quit meat. I think there are certain hormones present in meat, in the fishes and meat, that your brain gets used to those hormones and it wants more and more of it. When you compare that to a vegan alternative, vegan mock meat, it doesn't have that. It would probably crave, it will satisfy 70% of your craving, but it cannot satisfy 100% of the, that that look and feel and the taste you are craving for. So yes, I mean, it's the taste. It's not the taste, it's the texture, it's how you feel after eating, it's basically the texture that they are craving for. And even in dairy, there's this component, I'm forgetting the name of that right now, but there's this component in dairy that your body and your mind gets very addicted to that component. And especially in vegan cheese, sorry, not vegan cheese, in cheese. So when you consume cheese, there's this component called casein, and you get addicted to the smell of that. From afar off, if somebody is eating pizza, you start drooling. Why does this happen? It's not because of that, the veggies and the pizza base. It's because of the cheese present inside the pizza. So this has a very similar, somebody has quoted this, I can share the link to you. They had compared the effects of cheese with cocaine. So a person who is addicted to cocaine is basically, they have the same brain function when they see cheese. So it's, in a way, it's as addictive as any drug that a person might be addicted to. So it's kind of addictive, I understand. But once you leave it, you go through a period of 45 days, you have to completely leave all the meat and dairy sources. Then I think it gets better. Your body adapts in a better way. So 6 years now, like after 6 years of being vegan, I kind of hate the smell of cheese. You know what I'm saying? So from being addicted and from craving that dish to now being like really hating the taste and smell of it, is just your body adapts in a very beautiful way, honestly. It's just trust your body, I would say. People need to trust, people need to, if they are leaving something, they need to have patience and trust their body that it will adapt to the new lifestyle.
Okay, if I talk about from an individual point of view, what do you think, who suffers the most? The one who changes or the one who never asks question?
I mean, if you will change because you ask questions, right?
That is my question. Okay. For example, you have turned vegan.
Yeah.
You have changed. There are people who can become vegan, who can be living a much more healthier life, I would say, but they are not even willing to ask this question because they are not ready for the answer. Like, who is going to suffer the most? So far as I know, people who eat non-veg, they have this feeling of lethargic body, low energy levels because of heavy energy consumption.
See, I think it's definitely the one who's not asking any questions and they're just living in a cognitive dissonance. But lately I've seen that a lot of diseases are starting to increase. Like in India is a diabetes capital. And like we go to a lot of events, we talk to a lot of people, and they mention the reason why they are becoming dairy free or they are going vegan is because their doctors have advised them to be. So either you do it early in your life, you leave everything, you adapt to being a vegan, or later in life your doctor will ask you to. So I mean, this is a very positive shift I'm seeing in terms of doctors encouraging people to go vegan and follow a more dairy-free and a meat-free lifestyle.
All right, so amazing. So when we talk about vegan, so it's a core philosophy, like as we discussed, that it's peace over cruelty. But if we talk about food, that's completely okay and acceptable. कि मेरा खाना चेंज हो गया है. But there are so many other factors as well, like usage of wool,
Yeah.
usage of silk, usage of leather.
Leather.
Yeah, so I just want to talk about, I want to talk more about this factor. So please tell us first, do you use any of these things?
Consciously not. Unconsciously, there are a lot of people who gift me stuff. And see, as a vegan, we are just trying to be the best version, the best vegan possible, right? I try to be the best version of me every day. I consciously don't buy any non-vegan items. Like a lot of people who are okay consuming honey, even though they call themselves vegan. I don't want to comment on them. It's just that it is cruel. I mean, it is not vegan. So, but there are a lot of brands that have started making vegan leathers also. Vegan leather, vegan wool, vegan silk. And there are a lot of options. And I would say that, they're not mainstream and they're very expensive. But I, for one, I try to be very conscious and not, buy vegan wool. Don't buy sweaters and I don't buy leather. I mean, just the smell of leather just turns me off. It's just so bad. Even silk. But yes, I mean, a lot of people are plant-based and not vegan. So there are two different types of people. Like I mentioned before we started this podcast, there are people who are vegans for ethical standpoints. So people who are vegan for the animals, they don't consume anything that comes from the animals, be it the bags, the makeup, the clothes, the wool and silk that you mentioned. They don't consume that because it directly contradicts what they believe in.
Exactly.
People who are vegan for health, or they want to become healthier in their lifestyle, they consume everything. They also consume honey as much as I've seen. They also they buy bags, but they're probably not aware about the cruelty that's happening in the leather industry. There's a lot of people who consume silk and they eat only vegan food, or I would say they are following a plant-based lifestyle. We shouldn't call them vegans. They are basically the ones they eat plant-based food, but they are not vegans.
Okay, so there are categories. One is plant-based, कि आप खाली अपना खाना चेंज कर रहे हो.
आप सिर्फ vegan खाना खा रहे हो, plant-based खाना खा रहे हो, आप lifestyle follow नहीं कर रहे हो. आप vegan नहीं, इन लोगों को vegan नहीं बोलते हैं. इन लोगों को बोलते हैं कि कुछ नहीं बोलते. मतलब they are just,
There's a plant-based.
They eat plant-based.
हाँ. So veganism is more about a philosophical thing कि भाई I am choosing this peace over cruelty.
Yes, ethical stand.
हाँ, I want to contribute to that cruelty part of this world.
Exactly.
Yeah, so amazing. Okay, so as you mentioned कि vegan leather जो है market में बेचा जा रहा है. So I have this really serious question about this thing, like vegan leather, fake meat. What are these terms? I want to know. Are they actually saving animals, or they are just selling different products that won't take you on a guilt trip?
See, like I mentioned, I never hated the taste of meat. I was just against the cruelty part of it. And there are a lot of vegans, जो लोग हैं जो vegan बने हैं, they don't hate the taste of their butter chicken and stuff. It's just that they're not okay with what goes behind the butter chicken. So, अगर कोई brand mock meat बना रहा है, and if you want to replicate, if you want to get the same taste and feel from a mock meat butter chicken, then why not? If it's helping you transition from a meat lifestyle to a vegan lifestyle in a better way. So I don't consume mock meat, honestly. I feel it's too close to meat, and I don't like the taste of meat. So I'm away from all those mock meats. But there are people who have recently transitioned. So it's a transitioning product. For vegan leather, I would say that it is definitely something that it should go mainstream. Because जो leather industry में cruelty होती है, I can't even like say it out loud. There's this documentary on YouTube. It's called Maa Ka Doodh. They've shown the cruelty, how they, extract the leather from live animals, live pregnant cows, and like that was it. Like when I saw that, मेरे लिए तो मतलब leather के लिए इतना मेरे को गुस्सा आता था. Used to hate people who were unaware about the cruelty. So मैं उसके बाद क्या करने लगी, I used to go to mall and random किसी भी shop में जहाँ bags वगैरह होते थे, I used to ask them, is it from leather? Like they would say, yeah, very, they are saying, yeah, leather, 100% leather, ma'am. Then I would say, animal leather, cruelty. They were like, no, ma'am, no leather. Even if, like they weren't so sure. And so I would kind of plant seed into people कि leather is proud होने की कोई बात नहीं है. It's a very cruel product, and it's actually even the most cruel way of getting a product is leather. Like leather is the most cruel. I feel just level की cruelty वो करते हैं. Silk is also very cruel. So vegan leather is actually solving a lot of problems. It's actually more sustainable for the planet. It's more, it's the best solution. It's like, if you see the cruelty that goes behind leather, I think if everyone saw what happens in the leather industry, everyone would buy vegan leather. And vegan leather is what? Banana se banta hai. There's cactus leather. I'm not talking about the petroleum PUC material. I'm talking about the actual vegan leather that is made from the plants, from the banana leaves, and there are a lot of different ways of extracting vegan leather. There are a lot of innovations happening now.
So amazing. Yeah, that is so true. So factually correct that if you start seeing the process, what is going behind, so you will change your choices. Like I was listening to this podcast of Chris Williamson with, I guess, psychiatrist or someone from this neuro department. Okay, so he was talking about this thing that you see an acne, you instantly act on it.
Yeah.
You see fat accumulating, you instantly act on it. But just because you are not seeing what's going inside your brain, just because you are not seeing what's going inside your heart, what is the status of your arteries, that's why you are taking it for granted. If you, for once in your life, if you see your brain and if you realize what is happening with my overthinking, like overeating or everything that I'm doing to damage this, so you will stop doing this. So I think that should be the motive of someone, I don't know which company is going to do this, but yeah, there has to be something which shows the process. One shine of a shoe at a party is costing a life of an animal. So yeah, it has to be there. That practical part has to be there. That's so amazing. So
totally.
Amazing. Okay. On this note, I just want to talk about a little more about your company, like Dancing Cow. Like that is something new to me. And for your information, viewers, I just want to tell you that this is not a sponsored video. I simply want to know a girl who is living in Dubai, eating non-veg, turned vegan, started her startup. I just want to know the process behind it. Oat milk is the product of their brand. So please take us through the whole process from R&D, from ideation to the execution to the final product in the market. Like if I choose to be a vegan, if I choose the products of Dancing Cow, how much does it affect my pocket? What will be the complications I will be facing in the current scenario in the market?
Absolutely. So we started doing R&D back in 2022 when I moved back to India. And previously I just mentioned that there was a white space in this category. So, and a lot of different reasons also came about during that timeline. So my mother was diagnosed with diabetes, and the doctor said to stay away from the dairy, stay away from dairy and meat. And she was addicted to chai. Like she was literally, she would, even now she has chai 3 times a day. I mean, so back then in 2021, there weren't many plant-based milk option. The ones that were there were very chemical tasting. हमने घर पे order किया लखनऊ में, and we tried making chai and she wouldn't like it. Like जो चाय से addict होता है, they can't adjust. Even though अगर उनके diabetes हो रहा है, जो भी cholesterol की problem हो रही है, they would find ways to cheat. So I didn't like that, and then we also so I moved back to India, and उस timeline में मुझे और products, मतलब I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I saw a white space and I started doing R&D. Contacted a couple of agencies that helps you with your R&D. So everyone was based in Mumbai. So we went. So my husband now, we were dating back then. So we went to Mumbai to meet those facilities who do R&D. So it took us, I would say, 9 months to come up with this product. We wanted a product that was very close to dairy in taste and texture, keeping my mom as a target audience, because people like her wouldn't want to compromise with the taste and the end chai or the coffee that they've been consuming for 30 years of their lives, 40 years of their lives. So that was the entire objective. We wanted to replicate dairy, and we wanted to make it very healthy. Like जो अभी अलग products थे plant-based milk में, they only use like 5-6% of the actual ingredients, and rest of them were the processed oils and enzymes or अलग chemicals basically. So we wanted to make something that you don't feel guilty after consuming on a daily basis. So 9 months के बाद we launched the product, and we actually saw a very good response from the cafes and the consumers. And we're also doing a lot of R&D now. And initially थोड़ा problem था to in terms of educating the customers. So we went to a lot of events. मैं और अनमोल दोनों, we used to stand from morning till evening explaining, talking to customers, telling them more about oat milk. There are a lot of people who don't even know what oat is. Like अभी oat भी इतना नया है इंडिया में.
Yeah, so I also want to ask the same question.
Yeah.
Like, from where do you source the oat milk? Like, how do you process it?
So we make everything in India. So oats are Indian. Everything is Indian. We also add moong beans and millets into the mix to make it healthier. And so moong beans क्या करती है? Moong beans, they give you the texture of dairy without without any aftertaste. और जो millets है, we use amaranth basically for the colors, for making it look like dairy and to increase the fibers. And everything is Indian. Our processing unit is in Pune now. The R&D was in Mumbai. Pune में produce होता है, and then it goes into a Tetra Pak facility where it is filled. So जहाँ milk is getting produced, you can't fill it because they don't have the Tetra Pak facility. Very few units have it in Pune. In India, basically. In India, if you're looking to produce a plant-based milk, currently only Pune and some southern cities have facilities. In North, you don't find any plant-based facilities where you can, rent the unit for a day and you can produce it. They don't let you do it. So Pune mein we have the facility, it gets produced, it gets filled, and from there we kind of dispatch it to all the warehouses that we have.
And this is for the health perspective. Like as you said, your mother got diabetes.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys use preservatives?
We don't use any artificial preservatives. We use only what is needed. So we use cold pressed rapeseed oil, which is only 1.8%, and it's kind of essential for the milk to perform in cafes. So it gives the froth, and it gives it lets you make latte art out of the the coffee. So that's literally the only essential thing that we have to put. We add 15% of oats, millets, moong beans into the mix, and we're the only plant-based milk brand that's adding such high volumes of oats and other we are the only plant-based milk brand that's adding 15% of oats and millets and mung beans. None of the other brands have such high composition of ingredients.
Will I get the same amount of nutritional values from your milk
Dairy.
that I get from the dairy milk?
We are trying to get there. But currently, if you compare the whole milk, like the whole full fat, then yes, calorie wise, we are lesser and we are creamier than if you compare the nutritional aspect of a whole full fat with oatish oat milk, then yes, I would say ours is way cleaner. Ours is lesser in calories, and protein wise also it's equivalent. We are fortifying the milk with calcium, B12, all the vitamins. So it is complete source of calcium and everything else. But you also have to see that in cow's milk there are a lot of hormones that is injected into the cow, and that gets translated into the milk, and a lot of other things like pus. Like when a cow is sick, she releases pus into the milk, and that milk has a lot of I don't want to go there. It's very So it's apart from that, we are matching dairy counterpart, but we want to be better. I'll be honest with you.
Amazing, and I really wish you a very best of luck for that journey.
Thank you.
Because finally someone is doing something differently, unique, with clear intentions. So how do you manage that? You just mentioned calcium. Like, how do you manage that calcium part? Because so far as I know, vegans are always in deficit of calcium.
So I used to eat calcium tablet when I was heavy meat consumer, and even now I don't consume calcium, but I consume it in the form of natural foods. I eat like I mentioned in the lunch, I eat the same bowl every day, and calcium can be easily acquired from tofu, tempeh tofu. They all are rich in calcium. I think we need around 1000 mcg calcium per day. And if you divide that from different food sources, from it's very easy. Calcium, honestly, there's a very big misconception that calcium can only be obtained from a cow's milk. It's not. It's actually, you can literally have dal, chawal, every food, every vegan, every vegetarian food source apart from dairy also has calcium in some form or the other. In some quantity. So it's very easy. Calcium is not even a question. The real question is vitamin B12, which a lot of vegetarians also face the deficiency in. And there are a lot of supplements available. So you can just, easily supplement vitamin B12. And a lot of non-vegans I know personally, they eat a lot of chicken, three times a week, and they still face issues with their vitamin B12. It's just not a vegan thing. It's everybody faces vitamin B12 deficiency, and it's you can easily supplement it. There's a lot of people thinking that, oh, you're taking pill or you have to take medicine. No, it's not a medicine. Supplements should not be looked at from a negative standpoint. It's supplement. Everybody has it. It's okay.
So basic. Okay, in non-veg, people are having multiple options like shawarma, butter chicken. I don't know what are the options because I consume it. In veg, we do have a couple of options, like we have paneer, like I said, gajar ka halwa, and so many things. If I pick a wedding where I have to arrange everything in vegan way, so what do you think how the menu is going to look like?
You'll have tofu tikka masala as a main dish. A lot of so I had a vegan friendly wedding. We had soya chap is it can easily be vegan if you don't put the curd, marinated differently. So a lot of actually vegan is more expansive. Like you experiment a lot with the food and a lot of things that you can actually offer. For example, there's if you want to replicate like chicken, I would say a starter, chicken starter, for example. There's literally soya is like, soya does so many things. Soya can be converted into tofu. Soya is edamame is also a form of soya. Tempeh is a form of soya. Tofu is a form of soya. Soya is so versatile. You can literally make thousands of recipes just using soya. If you're allergic to soya, then there's seitan that is made from whole wheat gluten, which is so easy to make at home. Lot of options, I would say. Even more options than, if you're just focusing on non-veg options. I would say after I became vegan, I got introduced to so many different form of food. Like, I've never had edamame in my life. And I was like, it's so good. Like, if you just till this date, I've only had boiled edamame and it's so amazing. So this is something I never knew. When you're non-vegetarian, you're just limited to eating, chicken. You're just limited to eating eggs every day. You don't think out loud. You don't experiment with your food. But once you become vegan, you start experimenting, start thinking about food from a different angle. Will this go with this ingredient? Can they be combined? Pasta is such a great example. And honestly, I like vegan pasta more than I loved non-vegan pasta, because now you have so many different ways to make pasta. I mean, it's just a different world out there if you become a vegan, because you start knowing and understanding food in a better way. You start eating more nutritious food. And yes, I know it's not always nutritious. You also eat vegan pizza. You also have vegan burger. But overall, even a vegan pizza I believe vegan pizza is more healthy than just a normal pizza. Because of, different long-term health issues and long-term.
But what are you going to place there in place of cheese?
The cashew cheese. A lot of new brands are coming up. Healthy new brands. I wouldn't say I wouldn't talk about the processed ones, but there are a lot of different. There are a lot of new brands, especially in Mumbai. I've been seeing a lot of vegan brands are coming up. They do homemade vegan cashew spreads, homemade vegan cashew cheese. So amazing, so tasty.
So interesting. So basically, you can replace non-veg items, you can replace veg items. I mean, veg and vegan, there are so many similarities. But okay, there's a thing, we call it cake. The most delicious thing I found on this planet Earth. Okay.
I love it too.
But how you want to enjoy it when you are a vegan?
So easy. There are a lot of cafes that does vegan cake. So
how you going to replace the cream part?
Vegan cream. It's easier than what it used to be a few years back. So they make whipped cream out of oats, basically. And like they're using coconut cream. They're using coconut, milk in making a lot of different dishes. Oat milk is also used in cake. We are supplying to a lot of cafes now, a lot of bakeries who make vegan cakes, and it tastes amazing. If you eat a vegan cake after a non-vegan cake, you wouldn't feel any difference. It's actually better. I mean, I'm a vegan, so I'll obviously say it's better, but if you try it, you won't feel any difference. The kind of innovation that is now happening, that never used to happen. They have replaced eggs with a different ingredient altogether. So when I'm making cake at home, I use chia seeds for it to make it more fluffy, basically. Cream, I would say chocolate is a best source. Like, you just make melted chocolate on top of the cake. I mean, I don't know why we're going too deep into the cake, but I love cake a lot. A lot of vegan bakeries are there that does vegan cake better than non-vegan cake, in my opinion. So yeah, you don't have to compromise with your taste. Just so many options out there. You just have to, just go on Zomato and search for vegan cake, vegan cheese, vegan pizza. You will find lots and lots of places that delivers it. There are two types of vegan cakes: a healthy version, non-healthy version, two healthy version. That there are cafes that are doing millet-based cake, zero sugar, zero gluten. I don't like them, but I like the unhealthy version of cake. But yeah, it's okay.
Like every single thing that we are discussing here, it's been more than an hour now. Every single thing is coming to me as a case study, do you know? Like you mentioned, vegan pizza. So I had to process all the ingredients. What goes in the pizza? Okay, we are removing cheese. Now what? So everything is very new to me, and I think this is the same reaction of the audience that is watching it right now. But it's so interesting. Like this is something very new, very unique. What do you see? Like, is there an increase in the demand of vegan products? Like you being into this business, what do you see?
See, the category that I am serving is not totally around vegans. A lot of people who suffer from dairy allergies and lactose intolerance and doctor advised people who want to quit dairy. I would say 90% of our customers are non-vegans. 10% of them are vegans, but the numbers are growing. When we go to the events and we talk to the people, like 3 years back when we spoke to them about, why they are vegans, why they are drinking oat milk, basically, it would be because, it's because of health issues or their allergies and stuff like that. Now, if we go to the events and we speak to the people, the narrative has completely shifted towards them feeling more emotional about the animal cruelty, and they saw one video on YouTube and it kind of motivated them to try vegan lifestyle. So yeah, I mean the numbers are increasing, the vegans are increasing, the consumption has completely changed. So yeah, we've been seeing a lot of new people who've never had oat milk to try oat milk, and buying and subscribing oat milk for 6 months is completely new. That has never happened in India, and I think in the next 10 years it's going to go mainstream. So there's this company called Oatly in Europe. They had, so basically in 2012, what Europe or America was, we are at that point in India at the moment. And Oatly and other plant-based milk back then had the same trajectory, the same growth, the same, the revenue that we are currently on. And it took them in 2016, 17, I'm not sure. It took them few years for them to become a $1 billion company. And the market also became mature while they were doing it. So I feel we are literally in the very, very early stages in India. What Europe or America was, say, 13 years back, we are there now. And I feel it's so exciting because in the next 10 years, everything's gonna change. I feel a lot more people will become more, they will start thinking and they'll start questioning. People have already started questioning the food that goes into their system. They have started seeing the labels now. So now they will go deeper. I feel the consumer is shifting, the consumerism is shifting, and in the next 10-15 years, it's going to be a very different landscape from where we are now.
Yeah, there are so many people like you out there who are putting so much efforts to make them aware. Like there's another creator, food farmer.
Yes.
So Raymond. So he started the sugar movement.
Yeah.
Like just place the amount of sugar you get in this bottle, in this product, in that product, in this chocolate. So it changes a lot of things because now you're able to see it clearly. So I also pray that it changes. Okay, one more thing. I know, we all know that taste will disappear just the moment our food passes this passage.
Yeah.
Taste will disappear.
Exactly.
But despite knowing the fact, why all these things are so heavy on us that we are not willing to quit sugar, we are not willing to quit all the unhealthy things, pizza and all that stuff. Because bottom line, just down from here, everything is just turned into carbohydrate, fat, protein, good fat, bad fat, all that stuff. Like why this particular portion is so heavy on us?
So I think people don't think as what we have discussed, people just think they only care about their tongue, they only care about the taste, they don't care about what their overall body needs. I think same goes for vegans as well. Like, we're all humans, right? Me craving a vegan dal makhani or a vegan pizza is very similar to someone who's eating chicken. It's just that I don't want to harm animals because that's a connection I've already made. But I mean, it's just how we are like wired. We want to escape from our miseries. We want to escape behind food, and we want to just forget everything and make food the main character. And we stop caring what it does to your body or where the food comes from. You just consume it because it makes you happy in that moment, and you forget about the miseries that you're living in. And I think I was like that when I was eating unhealthy non-vegan food. But I think that's the overall, everyone thinks like that, is I feel it's.
So amazing. So
Are you
please.
are you vegetarian?
I am a vegetarian.
Okay.
Partial vegetarian. So in vegetarian thing, I eat only paneer.
Okay.
And rest everything is just veggies, I would say. Rice, chapati, that's all.
Okay. Have you ever tried tofu or tempeh?
To be honest, no, I never tried. But for 3 years, I used to eat every single day brown rice, soya chunks. So I choose my meals like this. Like, I have a fixed menu and I follow it for 2 years or 3 years. So I eat food as a fuel.
Right.
So I'm not a big time foodie. So I take paneer and all those things just for the sake of protein and all the needs that my body needs.
Right.
That's all.
Nice.
So that's how I choose it. So I can sustain a single diet for 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years maybe. The same diet.
Right.
Yeah,
Having the same kind of foods on
same ghee, same oil or same masala, everything same.
Got it.
So I eat millets and I eat oats in the morning. I eat paneer in the afternoon, and during night I sometimes eat bajra, sometimes I eat dalia, and that's all.
Whole foods.
Whole
Okay.
foods.
I think whole foods plant-based diet is the most healthy diet in the world. That's been proven by a lot of researchers.
So I have a couple of myths or questions that I was looking for this topic, and it's been more than a week now, and in itself this topic is a whole new universe.
Right.
Like, there are so many things, so many contradictions. I've seen vegans hating other vegans, vegans arguing to other vegans. It's like a whole new religion.
Yeah.
Like, we have this caste, okay, we are plant-based vegans. We are vegan wala vegans. We are health-based vegans. We are animal activist wala vegans. So it was like, hold on. Let me register this whole thing. One of the major, I would say, logic that a vegetarian gives to a vegan is कि plants को भी pain तो होता है. Like, what's your answer to this?
No, nahi hota hai, because that's just chemical reaction. So plants don't feel pain because they don't have a central nervous system. They only react to pain. They don't feel the pain. So when you touch it, experiments mein dekha gaya hai that they show some form of reaction. That's just a chemical reaction. They are not sentient beings. They don't have capacity to feel pain. They don't have nervous system, no brain, so you can't feel pain. So they don't feel pain, but people, they have to come up with some arguments to defend their lifestyle, so they say it. Even my dad had this argument, so I kind of educated him. So he was like, oh, yours makes sense actually. So it's just a reason that non-vegans give, but they don't feel pain.
Okay, amazing. अगर हम सबको vegan बना देंगे तो ऑब्वियसली बात है कि प्लांट बेस्ड फूड का कंजम्पशन बढ़ेगा. वहीं पर एक लॉजिक है कि प्लांट का जो फूड होता है वो हमें तब खाना चाहिए जब प्लांट अपने आप उसको छोड़ता है, ना कि उसको तोड़ के. बिकॉज इफ यू आर प्लकिंग द फ्रूट, अल्टीमेटली यू आर हर्टिंग द ट्री. What the answer you have for?
See, if you are plucking the fruit, so 70% जो भी खाना बनता है agricultural, वो animals feed में जाता है. So if you are against not having plant food, it's actually then you are a vegan. Why? Because most of the food goes to the animals, right? तो जो भी ये रीज़न देते हैं कि प्लांट में भी तुम प्लांट को उजाड़ के खा रहे हो, तो वो उजाड़ के हम नहीं खा रहे, 70% ऑफ द एनिमल्स आर ईटिंग. सो ये तो फिर उन्हीं के अगेंस्ट हो गया, राइट? सो and also every vegan, I'm not speaking on behalf of everyone, but most of the vegans that are vegans are trying to be the best version possible. 100% cruelty in possible ही नहीं है. You buy cars, you buy a lot of avocado में किसी ने बोला कि to you know किसी fruits में insects are killed, right? कोई palm trees में मतलब palm oil में there is issue because they use I think monkey to they use animal in some form. So you just try to be the best version of yourself and just be as conscious as possible. मेरे जितना हो रहा है मैं कर रही हूँ. I'm trying not to buy leather, buy consciously जितना मेरे को जितना possible है. I'm trying to avoid those things. But there are a lot of people who say that vegans are supposed to be like 100% vegans. Like, of course, like consciously 100% is not possible because some form of the other you will find some non-vegan stuff in your home. But at the end of the day, you just try to be the best version possible. Also, vegans एक ही होते हैं. जो you mentioned the plant-based vegan, healthy vegans. Vegans का basically एक ही category है जो animal और animal products use नहीं कर रहे. That's it. You don't even have to love the animals to be a vegan. You can just like be neutral towards animals and just not use or abuse them.
Amazing. Veganism is just a trend. Eventually it will fade away.
No, it won't, because it's a lifestyle, and जो भी lifestyle compassion से बनती है वो fade away क्यों होगी? You won't stop feeling, right? You'll always feel something. You'll always be compassionate. For example, यहाँ पे अगर you are a vegetarian, right? अगर यहाँ पे कोई pig घूमेगा, will you look at it as a food?
No.
As a friend, right? If I hated a pig, like if I hated pigs or if I hated lizards, for example, doesn't mean I'll start eating them, right? Well, so no, it's not a trend. It's how you look at an animal. It's how you look at food. So you can never change the way you look at something. So that's why I said vegan is the person who is vegan because of animals, and they don't want to use the animals and the byproducts. So if I'm a vegan, if I call myself a vegan and I'm carrying a leather bag and I saw a celebrity turning vegan and I'm like, chalo, let me follow this lifestyle for a day or two. I won't call myself a vegan. I'll probably call myself as a person who's following a plant-based lifestyle. वो vegan है ही नहीं. So I think a lot of people use the term very loosely. Vegans are the ones who follow this lifestyle of being compassionate towards animals and not using them or their byproducts.
Amazing. Vegan is expensive.
Currently, some vegan alternatives are expensive. For example, vegan omega-3 is expensive because it's derived from algae. But I mean, you don't have to eat it daily. So supplementation जो होता है उसको every third day आप लेते हो. So at the end of the day, it kind of sets you back by 10 rupees a day अगर पूरे monthly आप देखते हो. But लोग नहीं देखते हैं उस तरीके से. Tofu is cheaper than paneer. A 200 gram of tofu is less than $100. And paneer 120-130 rupees का मिलता है 200 grams. Lot of, I mean, vegan क्या है? खाना है, मतलब दाल चावल, राजमा चावल, tofu, यही सब तो है. I mean, if you incorporate a lot of mock meat into your lifestyle, a lot of different fancy food, and of course it's expensive. if you stick to your basics, it's not. If you have whole foods plant-based diet, for example, whole foods may you just have nuts and seeds. You have a lot of different protein sources like soya keema, soya edamame, for example, tofu, for example. It's actually cheaper than following a vegetarian lifestyle or a meat lifestyle.
Vegan brings a lot of deficiencies.
I was deficient in vitamin B12 before I went vegan and even after. So, irrespective of what diet you follow, I think everyone should get regular blood tests done and get their supplements in place. But no. Apart from vitamin B12, I feel there are no other vitamin that cannot be obtained from plant-based sources. So everything. So vitamin B12 is a bacterial source, like I mentioned. Even cows eat those bacteria, and that is the reason why we get it in the milk. Chickens eat from the soil. The meat that you consume is rich in vitamin B12 because it's because of the chicken who consumed the bacteria in the first place. It's a plant-based source that the chickens eat, and then we get it from them. So yeah, supplements is not bad. Why deficiency is agnostic of what diet you follow. It's a lot of my non-vegan friends are deficient in vitamin B12 or iron. A very good friend of mine, she's deficient in iron and she eats chicken literally every day. I mean, so yeah, it's not just for vegans. I think it's everyone who needs to keep their blood test in check and supplement them.
Veganism is too extreme.
I think killing animals is extreme. No?
It is.
Exactly, right? It's just the brain washing that has happened over the years that people find it okay to eat meat because that's what collectively everyone is doing it. But I mean, being kinder to animals, how can it be extreme? It's not. You're being more compassionate in your lifestyle choices. So it's just the normal way of doing things.
And I think the best answer to conclude all these questions is veganism is a movement that we can be more kind to other species, and if we are comparing veganism with the non-vegetarian or vegetarianism or whatever you call it.
Flexitarianism.
So eventually we are starting on a wrong foot because 1944 में start हुआ था. It's not even 100 years. इन बिटवीन दीज ईयर्स जो भी हम लोग कर पाए या जो भी कम्युनिटी कर पाई है वो कर रहे हैं, अपने एंड पर सारे कंट्रीब्यूशन दे रहे हैं. द अल्टीमेट मोटिव इज टू प्रोटेक्ट एनिमल्स फ्रॉम क्रूएलिटी.
Exactly.
And I think we should respect it and we should not bring all the counters like non-veg में तो ये मिलता है, वेज में तो ये मिलता है. Think about it from a perspective कि मे बी 500 साल के बाद या 700 साल के बाद शायद आपके पास वीगनिज्म में इतनी सारी चीज़ें होंगी, इतनी स्पेशलिटीज़ होंगी जो अभी वेज में या नॉन वेज में हमारे पास नहीं है. So yes, we have to consider the fact.
Exactly. Also, like a few 100 years back, slavery was so common, right? And जो basically support करते थे slavery को, those were normal human beings. And जो उसके against बोलते थे, they were, I mean, जैसे अभी vegans को लोग बोलते हैं ना कि you are extreme. उस time पे they used to say the same thing to those people who used to be human right activists. So I would say it took them 200-300 years for to speak up about it and to make people realize that, dude, this is not extreme. What you are doing is extreme. Slaves के numbers होते थे arms में, उनका number होता था कि ये slave कौन से number का है, and they were being exported and treated like worse than any human have been treated in the history of humankind. And now the same way, like जो activists हैं, they are talking about animals in the same way and they are being called extremists. Because why? Because they are talking about something that is different from the norm. So I feel, yeah, you are right. In the next few 100 years, probably, we will reach to the point that उस time पे हमें लगेगा कि what the hell? Like, we were abusing animals. Like, we were killing animals and eating. तो उस time पे तब वो चीज़ extreme लगेगी.
जैसे अभी हमें हंट रेस के बारे में लगता है.
हाँ.
कि हम लोग उस एरा से आ रहे हैं, पत्थरों से आग जलाते थे. हाँ, पत्थरों से आग जलाते थे.
Yeah.
So it's very surprising to us. So yeah, that is the thing. I mean, it will take some time. At least we should appreciate the efforts that this community is putting. You know, what they are trying to do is they're simply trying to make this planet a little bit softer, a little bit kinder, a little bit safe place to live. And you know what's the worst part about us is we all are the product of evolution. So we all have evolved. Even me, you, all the insects, all the animals, all the mammals, all. It's just that we got this ability to think, this cognitive thing. So we started acting as the king of this planet.
Yeah.
And we started controlling everything. Like, okay, I'll eat chicken, I'll eat meat, I'll eat this, I'll eat that. That's my choice. I'm choosing it. So I'm not even giving that scope to other species that this planet belongs to them as well.
Exactly.
And that is something that really, you know, makes me so furious about all these things. But anyways, this is the process, and yeah, I'm done with my questions. Aarohi, is there anything that you want to share? So please feel free.
I think I'm good. Like, we've been talking about endlessly since 2 hours.
Yeah.
We've covered literally everything about veganism and dancing cow.
Yeah.
And your lifestyle as well, like you being a vegetarian. And
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
Thank you so much. On this note, so we just want to conclude this show. So we talked about a lot of things. We talked about veganism. What is this? How it is different from other things like veg, non-veg. I don't know the correct word. But yeah, veganism in itself is not just related to your thali or your food. It's a mindset. It's an attitude that we are choosing peace over cruelty. That is the also fundamental. So don't consider it as if कि अरे भैया अब तो vegan हो गए, अब तो हम बुद्धा बन जाएंगे. No, it is not like this. It is like कि ठीक है, दूसरों को भी जीने का मौका देना चाहिए. Okay, let's leave some room for them to, you know, live freely. So thank you so much, Aarohi, for doing this. It means a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sagar, for inviting me here. It was genuinely a lot of fun, and I hope to see you again.
It was amazing. And definitely I'll see you again because I know this
we
is
have to
something-
cover so many more topics.
Exactly.
Honestly.
So we'll cover it. I'll just keep bringing you here, and I think we're gonna grow together. So yeah, thank you so much. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say this one thing to you, because now you are being part of this movement. So it means a lot to us. I mean, maybe we are not there at the front, you know, standing with you, raising voices for the animals. But whatever you guys are doing, whatever this community veganism is doing, it means a lot to us. The next generation, maybe 100 years or 200 years from there, they will take all these names. They will realize this thing, like these were the people, you know, who saved these animals.
Wow.
So it means a lot to all the vegans out there. All the vegans.
Every vegan out there.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.